Lancashire Volunteer Partnership was established in 2016 between Lancashire County Council and other public sector organisations within Lancashire. Our aim is to make volunteering for public services rewarding and to provide opportunities for people to make a real difference in their local communities. By bringing these opportunities into one place and by working together, we believe we can look after our volunteers better and allow them to use their skills for the benefit of all. We are passionate about supporting people in need of help and building stronger, more resilient communities that can flourish. And at the heart of this are our volunteers.
We value our volunteers as part of our team, and they just support the staff when needed, and we'd be lost without them.
I started as a volunteer, and we've got two other members of staff who also started as volunteers. One who we've recently appointed who was volunteering for 7 years, helping our Baby Bounce and Rhyme sessions. We have another full-time member of staff who started as a culture hack and then went on to become an apprentice.
We have a volunteer at the moment who's done the garden. She's started a sunflower competition, which is in full bloom. That's been a great asset to the day centre this summer. Especially when it's been hot, they've been sat outside eating lollies and drinking and having a good laugh and helping her, so that's been great. When she waters, they're out there watering with her. Some service users are out there watering with her, so that's good. That brings a lot of entertainment, really.
We have a wide range of users. It's the busiest library in Lancashire, and we put on loads of events. But to deliver all these different activities, we need sort of support from volunteers. So having a young volunteer, like a culture hack, can come in and they can help prepare the craft activities. They can kind of put together instructions so that a range of different age groups can complete the activity. Having somebody on hand so the staff don't need to kind of come away from the counter.
And then we have another volunteer who supports the other service users inside. She'll chat and do one-to-ones with a lot of people that my staff feel we don't have time to do that. So she's a great asset to the service users, the day centre. I think they're good at socialising, and I think they're good at bringing things out of people. I just think it's a skill, and I think it's great that they can make that person's day just have a happy day.
I volunteered during COVID for, the jabs and all those sorts of things. So I have been, since I retired, a volunteer. And that really sort of faded out with the lack of the injections and things. So when Arlene said that, they needed somebody, that was when I thought, quite like to do that still like the aspect of volunteering.
I finished my second year of university at Lancaster University. I am a local anyway, and was looking for something to occupy my time as well as get a bit of experience within the heritage sector for either job prospects after finishing university or for going on to further study.
Well, I taught for many, many years, and when I actually retired, I thought, well, I'd like to carry on, and I saw this group advertised in the little Lancaster magazine, and it was just a group for people whose English wasn't their first language, and I just thought, I wonder if they want a volunteer. So I went along and sat in with the group and been there ever since.
I did my bronze DAV, and for bronze DAV to actually go on the trip, you must do, I'm pretty sure, 6 months of volunteering at a place. So that kind of gave me more of a motivation to go. And then when I was younger, I used to come to the events at the library.
Well, I think I had been thinking about volunteering for years, and a couple of my daughters, I've got 4 daughters, they always say, Dad, you'd be great, you've got a lot to offer, you've had a terrific life experience. You're a kind bloke. Well, they're speaking as my daughters, and I think you should think about it. And it seemed to be a collision that I saw this. Initially, there were a range of things I could do, but I wanted to be, if you like, face to face with the clients. And one of the options was befriending.
So my process of coming here was just interacting with the staff, and I just said, I'm going to be taking early retirement soon, and I just want to do something else and learn something else. Can I volunteer here? And she said, well, you'd have to go through Lancashire Volunteer Partnership, and so she put me in touch with the website, and they were advertising for volunteers, and it was quite a smooth process actually, and very, very welcoming.
For me, it's been a bit of an eye-opener, because obviously I've dealt with young children all my life, and this is the other end of the spectrum, and it's been different in that respect, but enjoyable. I like hearing about what they've done. Some of these people just like to talk to you about their own lives, and and for them, a lot of them are going home to nobody. So it's giving them that opportunity to speak to somebody else during the day.
There's 5 volunteers, but we don't all attend. It means we can have holidays, or if we're busy, there's always other volunteers in the group. And sometimes the group consists of, like this morning, we've got 3, 2 from Ukraine, 1 from Hong Kong. Sometimes we've had up to 15. A mixture, asylum seekers, refugees, people who are connected to the university. Maybe their partners are doing a PhD or research, and the other partner has nothing to do. So they come along and practice their English, and it's very relaxed.
I think in this role, one of the major requirements is to be a listener, and it's a fine balance. You're meeting total strangers, and you're trying to strike up a conversation that's not clanky, that flows, trying to find common interests. Obviously I'm my age, and I had worked with men from their late 30s to their mid 80s, so it's a wide variety. And I think it's quite a privilege to have an insight into people's lives, and it's quite staggering how easily a lot of them do volunteer a lot of very personal information. I know listening is important. Also in my job, I had to do an awful lot of talking, but equally an awful lot of listening. Maybe 40 odd years of it. So it's quite natural to me, and I think as a personality I'm not a big overt person. I don't hold the floor. I'm much more of a listener and a responder and a reactor.
The staff did say to me when I came in, so like I said, I worked in corporate roles, and I worked in human resources as well, so talk to anybody about anything. But I thought they were going to ask me to come and do some admin or some organising or something like that to play to those skills. But they said to me, well, what happens here is that we're busy supporting people and organising things and doing drinks or games or this or that we don't often get a chance to just sit and chat to people. And quite a few people here have dementia, and my mother-in-law has dementia, and I know how important social interaction is. People, I find elderly people sometimes get forgotten, so I think that they feel like they're not seen in society anymore, or they're not heard in the same way, or not respected in the same way, and it feels like I kind of peel back the layers of the onion, and I just talk to them about them. For myself, having retired,
and being used to a noisy environment in schools, just having that connection with people still. Even though I'm very busy in retirement, I've never got a minute. Really, it was just having that connection, and it was the gardening, to be fair. That was the real pull. I love gardening. I've always loved gardening. So I was really keen. I just said, I'll come and sort it out for you, but it's become a bit more than that.
I have been obsessed with history since I was a very young child. I mean, I think it was before I was even 10, for one of my birthdays, with the money I got for my birthday, I went out and bought a gas mask. As you do.
I enjoy explaining our city to people who are new to it. I enjoy helping them to feel comfortable in a country that's not their own. I like to explain our culture and some of the more quirky aspects of the English culture. So I just like to help them feel comfortable in sometimes a difficult situation depending on their background. We learn as well, particularly if there's a religious festival. Some from Hong Kong and China always like to talk about the Chinese New Year. So we learn about that, and sometimes they bring in food, so we're tasting. It's always good as well to hear that when you've talked about something, so I was talking last year, I think it was about St David for Wales. One of the people from China had an exam, and the patron saint of Wales was one of the questions, and she knew it because I talked about it. And when she came back after the exam, she was very excited and said, I could answer the question because you had spoken about it. So there is a feedback, and we just like learning about other cultures.
So obviously it will look great in your CV for volunteering, especially at a library, like a local community sort of thing, because colleges, universities, they'll always look for sort of teamwork skills, because I work with the staff and then other culture hacks as well. It's not like a one-man process, so it'll help you a lot. I've made a lot of friends through being a culture hack, and like I said before, with communication, it's so much easier to talk to people after this. It gives me a lot more confidence, and that means that in, for example, interviews and other things that I'm going to have to do in the future, it gives you that bit of boost, which helps out a lot.
It's been fabulous. It's been an amazing experience for me. I've done lots of different corporate roles in my life, but I feel like the things that I've loved most are the things where I've learnt different things. And so I kind of feel that I get more out of it than they do. I feel a little bit like that. So it's not work as such. I'm not coming to work, I'm coming to just be with people and have enriching experiences with people.
Initially, when I first started, there was contact with them, and they discussed the sorts of things I wanted to do, and they drew up a plan that was what I was expecting and things like that. So that was the initial contact. There's a lot of emails and things go backwards and forwards telling you about things that are on in the community, and you can dip in if you want to. If you don't want to do any of them, that's fine, that's your choice. So there is a lot of communication there.
I went in to sort of talk about what was going to happen, and then had a look around the museum whilst it was open and whilst the volunteers were in, so I got a flavour of what they were doing whilst the museum was open. And then the next time I went in, I was shadowing someone, so I was in a room with one of the more experienced volunteers who essentially took me through the running of it. I was there with them, being able to talk about things that they had told me and learning from them.
Yeah, I started volunteering through them. I can't quite remember. I may have seen an advert in the library, one of their posters, and that's something like I think it's about 4 years ago. It's that sort of period. It was Leslie that I saw first, and she interviewed me in the library, and from then on I've had nothing but terrific support from the various members of the volunteer group. And I've been on several training courses, not everyone that's been offered, because I just haven't been available. But they seem to take almost as much interest in me as a volunteer, and I know that's just, I'm not unique in that, as they do with our clients. I suppose that's the phrase we would use. Yes, I think they're very aware. They always make me feel valued, and that my time is important, my travelling time, fitting in with any of my other personal arrangements. So yeah, I've not got a lot of experience with volunteering for charities, but on this basis, I would say they're first class.
First of all, I'd probably go and have a look at the place where you think you might be able to volunteer, see exactly what it is that you might be expected to do.
As far as I'm concerned, the one important thing is not to get carried away that I'm a do-gooder, because I'm not. I see the benefits of it. I suppose it does make me feel good. It makes me feel that I'm putting something back into society. I know that sounds a bit of a cliche, but there is that to it. In case I did run away with thinking I'm the great I am, I'm not. I'm just an ordinary bloke.
And so I would say to people, if you're thinking, well, I've never done that, or I've only ever done this or that, I would say try something that you've not thought about, and you'll be surprised at what skills you'll bring with you. So yeah, it's that, just pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone.
Well, it's giving a bit back, really. It's given me that purpose. Even though I do lots of other things, I don't sit at home and do nothing, but I am a doer, and I like to get out and do things. And if my time, by doing that, can help other people, that's one of the good things from my point of view that I like doing. I like getting out and doing my bit, and then if it's helping other people, excellent.
I'm lucky that I had that opportunity, because for a few years the Resolving was actually closed, and the only reason that they could open again was because they started getting volunteers in. So because other people were there before I was, they essentially forged the path to keep the museum open, to allow me to have that opportunity first to volunteer and now to work in a place that I enjoy greatly. There's the old saying of, if you enjoy something, you'll never work a day in your life.
And I do see, in specific cases, the incredible benefit it has to these individuals. It's a benefit that frankly amazes me, saddens me in some respects, that a 1 or 2 hour meeting a week with an individual can be the highlight of their week. Just talking to Mike McKenna, that's a pretty levelling thought.
The volunteers make a massive difference here at Millbank Day Centre, and they are part of our team, and we don't know what we'd do without them.
They might be doing it because they're trying to get into work, or they might be doing it because they feel like they need to connect with people more, or they might be recovering from something, and kind of just being in a place where you're constantly interacting with members of the public and people that are coming to activities and members of staff, you kind of build up connections with people, and it just almost becomes second nature to kind of, be welcoming and approachable, and I think it helps people just become better at interacting with other people.
And we just both come out of it having a really nice feeling of having had a lovely chat and shared something, and it just brings really fond relationships that I would never have had if I wasn't here. The gift of time, and the staff are really lovely here, really professional, really caring, but they have a lot to do and organise, and just having that unfettered time, just to be with someone. Recently there was a service user, and he had been a teacher, and all his pupils had put together this little book with memories of him, and we sat together probably about 45 minutes going through and laughing at some of the things that they said about him. And the staff go around and take photos of what's going on, activities and things. And unbeknownst to me, they'd taken a photo of this exchange. And really sadly, this man passed away suddenly, unexpectedly. And they were showing her photos and videos of things he'd done here. And she said, "Oh, who's this lady?" And they said, "Oh, that's our volunteer, Karen. She spent some time with him going through his book." And she said, "Can you tell her thank you? That was a lovely memory. It was a lovely thought that someone would spend time with him and enjoy his company." And he literally took my hand at the end and said, "Thank you for talking to me like I'm normal. I know my memory's not as good as it was, but thank you for doing that." And it seems such a small thing to do. And it's such a human thing to do, isn't it? But I'm just naturally nosy, so I just kind of want to know what life did they have and what did they like doing, and it just seems to bring them alive. It just reminds them of who they are and who they've been and what they've done in their lives, and they might have more limited lives now for whatever reason, health or whatever, but they're still the same person inside, and I love that.
Thank you for watching the film. Should you require any further help or advice about volunteering, please email us on lvp@lancashire.gov.uk or visit lancsvp.org.uk.